You're watching Council Wrap Up. I'm Susan Kennedy. We're here with some of the top stories of the Montgomery County Council for the month of January. Up first, every year Montgomery County participates in a point-in-time count that provides a snapshot of the community's homeless population. Recently, that effort took place here in Montgomery County.
Yeah. We can go down first and then come out. Okay.
On this cold January night, council members joined volunteers to hit the streets as part of the annual point-in-time count, an effort to get a rough snapshot of how many people are living without shelter in Montgomery County.
It is a count mandated by the HUD, and so you have communities, continuum of cares from across the nation all going out in these last 10 days of January and trying to identify anyone in their community who is experiencing homelessness, whether they're in a shelter or unsheltered.
There is no greater need than our homeless population in Montgomery County, and this obviously is a growing problem across the entire country, but also here in our community. I'm proud of our efforts to date to try and house as many homeless residents as possible, but we know there's a lot more work to do, and I think there's value in seeing firsthand, hearing the stories, working with staff to better understand what's going on out there.
Councilmember Albornoz was joined by several of his colleagues for the annual census.
Hello?
Last year, 647 people were counted as homeless, down 23% from 2018. Officials are hoping that trend continues.
Tonight is not just going out on an individualized basis, but going out on a collective basis as a community, as a council, and as all of us to be able to make sure that we're not leaving anybody behind in our community and that every single person in our community is counted, counts, and is accounted for, and that we are doing everything we can once we know who they are and where they are to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to help them.
The council members joined more than 100 volunteers combing the streets of Rockville for folks who might need assistance.
I'm Craig and this is Evan. We're at the point-in-time count survey. Can you give us your full name?
They were equipped with supplies and offers of help.
Some gloves, some socks, some chapstick, and then we've got a McDonald's gift card there.
This night provides council members the opportunity to physically engage with the community's most vulnerable.
First and foremost, do you communicate well in English? Yes. Okay. Have you ever blacked out due to alcohol or drug use?
No.
Have you ever been told you have a mental health condition or diagnosis?
No.
And get an understanding of what the county needs to do to provide support.
You know, it's one of those where if you're truly an elected official, it's about caring about your community. It's about caring about making sure that you're making a difference, that you're actually making a change for the better. And the people who sign up for this job are not people who just want to have a person call them by a title and go in and sit on the dais. Nothing back here. These are people who want to see things happen for the betterment of our community as a whole.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Listen, thank you so much for completing this survey. God bless, and we'll be in touch.
The best education that we can receive as to how life is here in Montgomery County is by walking the streets. And whether it's walking in a parade on a holiday or walking on a street in a sub-freezing evening in the middle of January, this is our community. And the first-hand experiences that we witness and that we see is what really propels us to do our jobs and to make life better for everybody in Montgomery County.
As the night wore on, more of those opportunities presented themselves. One that ended the evening on a positive note, with council members helping a homeless gentleman in getting the attention he needed.
The testament of a community is how it treats those at the dawn of life, at the twilight of life, and in the shadows of life. And tonight we're bringing a little bit of light into the shadows, into the darkness, and trying to make sure that we bring everybody into the part of Montgomery County that is so bright, that is so light, that does have so much opportunity, but we realize that there are some who don't have access to that light, and that we want to make sure that we're including everybody as we can.
This month marked the 40th anniversary of the Women's Legislative Briefing. Coordinated by the Montgomery County Commission for Women, it brings together leaders and advocates to address issues affecting women and girls across the state. 2019 was a big year for Councilmember Nancy Navarro, and 2020 started off on a positive note as well.
It is an incredible honor to be standing in front of all of you as I am inducted into our great county's Women's History Archives. It is indeed a rare privilege that few in the history of our great county have had.
Over the weekend, Councilmember Navarro was inducted into the Women's History Archive as part of the annual Women's Legislative Briefing. The day was full of events and speakers and began with a breakfast where Navarro spoke about support and the legacy that the work of all women creates.
I think it also speaks volumes to what it means to be part of this community, this amazing county, that somebody, who came from a different country, who has made Montgomery County my home. I've raised my children here. My husband launched his business here, that I would have the opportunity to not only to serve in the capacity of the Board of Education and at the County Council, but now be inducted in the History Archive. So I've said to my daughters, hey, when I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, they can look me up.
Since her election to the council in 2009, Navarro has worked to bring economic opportunity to all parts of the county.
And we needed to come together and put forth legislation,
crafted legislation to adopt a policy of racial equity and social justice,
begin to dismantle all of these persistent disparities,
and implemented an early education initiative that will shape the county's future. The award comes on the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, and Navarro told the audience assembled she will continue to push for progress.
We will do more. This recognition serves as a great motivation and energy boost to continue this momentum. As the only woman on the County Council, I am both honored and disappointed to be the only one. I am a firm believer that women's leadership in all sectors is an absolute necessity. We lead from a place of strength, abundance, and inclusion. We get things done wherever we find ourselves. It is just what we do.
Each year, Councilmember Craig Rice holds education forums to give community members the opportunity to learn more about how the county's education partners are addressing the needs of the students. This month was the first forum.
So you guys want to go across to make a 4, or you want to go down to make your 4?
More than half of Montgomery County's $5.8 billion budget is spent on education. That includes funding not only for Montgomery County Public Schools, but also for Montgomery College and the universities at Shady Grove.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, excellent, excellent. For those who don't know me, my name is Craig Rice. I am a member of the Montgomery County Council. I also chair the Education and Culture Committee for the Montgomery County Council.
Leaders from those entities were on hand at Montgomery College in Germantown for a forum to discuss how they are using those resources to put our students on the pathway to success.
When you look at this pathway, it's really important, and everyone plays a role in terms of supporting that and making sure it happens.
We don't know where life will take us, but the better we're prepared to go there, the more options and opportunities we have.
That each and every person who comes to Montgomery College has the opportunity, dare I say the right, to feel that they have a space here and that we're going to meet them where they are.
We're making a commitment to you, and this is the pathway that if you follow, we will support you in this effort all the way through. If you go the Montgomery College to USG route, you stay in the county and you save yourself a considerable amount of money.
Rice's education forums are an opportunity to discuss what's happening in the schools when it comes to academic readiness and other opportunities that take county students from pre-K to career.
Having our Montgomery County Public Schools align directly with our community college, as well as our 4-year granting institution like universities at Shady Grove, all of those are the kinds of things that really are going to create a new dynamic for us here in Montgomery, and we need to be talking about that and highlighting that for all of our residents.
Just as a parent, I mean, she's only 8 in 3rd grade, but it's just helpful for me to see that big picture, to know okay, if she wants to go to a 4-year school, she could save money and go to USG. She could go through MC.
Councilmember Rice will hold his next education forum March 4th at 6:30 at Northwood High School. Pedestrian safety is a top priority of the County Council, and this month members received a briefing on the county's Vision Zero program from state and local partners.
Having said all this, I want to introduce Wade. Come up and say a few words.
Thank you.
Thank you.
the council received an update on the new Vision Zero program and action plan. The briefing was called by council members in light of 3 pedestrian deaths that occurred in the first 3 weeks of January. The goal of Vision Zero is to eliminate traffic-related deaths and severe injuries by the year 2030.
But working with our community partners, state partners, and our county employees, they're all very driven and committed to making Vision Zero reality in this county. So I wanted to, keep working with everyone and making sure that we can make this
Just
all
one
a
day
safer
after the
place to live,
county
work, and
named
play.
its Wade Holland has been selected to lead the county in this effort. He told council members he knows community interest on this issue has skyrocketed.
So the overall target was 240 serious and fatal crashes, and we actually had 265. To give you an idea, so compared to the overall target, we had a reduction of 28%. The target was 35%. So clearly we have more work to do.
Over the past 2 years, the county has installed new hawk beacon lighting at several busy intersections and dedicated the first protected bike intersection in Montgomery County. The 2020 action plan has 5 key action areas, including engineering, enforcement, and education.
In many cases, and I'm as guilty as anyone, I wear a dark coat at night when, I know that I'm not as visible as I should be. Our lighting, and know we can work on our lighting, and we will work on our lighting. We're not going to do it as quickly in every spot and every time as we need, so people have to be educated, have to remember that when they are out, that in some cases drivers cannot see them.
One of the recent deaths involved Rockville resident Brett Bodden. Despite her recent loss, his mother was present for the briefing. Council members say they are committed to working to achieve all 41 points of the Vision Zero plan. On February 9th, the council will be holding a pedestrian safety town hall meeting at 2 p.m. at Wheaton High School. And finally, Councilmember Evan Glass, the first openly gay member of the Montgomery County Council, donated the first pride flag that was flown at the Executive Office Building to the Montgomery County Historical Society. History was made this year during Pride Month when Montgomery County flew the pride flag at the Executive Office Building. And now that flag will become an official part of county history. Evan Glass, the council's first openly gay council member, has donated the flag to the county's Historical Society as part of the 2020 History Conference.
We all these days know people who associate themselves with and value the diversity that comes with that flag. And for me to, at least in some concepts, be a symbol for this movement, at least here locally, I understand the importance of that. And I truly appreciate all of you for recognizing not what the flag has meant to me, but what the flag means to all 1.1 million residents of Montgomery County.
Glass spoke about the challenges he and his staff dealt with in response to flying the flag.
And the phone calls were so bad and so often that we stopped answering our phones for 3 days.
But said they felt strongly about the message it conveyed.
And for me, putting myself in the arena, I could handle it. I knew why we were doing this. I knew how important it was. Eventually, we had all of the Pride events throughout the entire county, celebrating with hundreds of our neighbors and colleagues and family members. And it was a good time. Here in Montgomery County, we live here because we love our diversity. We love the inclusion. We love our progressive values, where it doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter where you came from, your race, your religion, how you identify, who you love. This flag will symbolize to them that they are loved here and that they are welcomed here.
Well, that does it for this edition of Council Wrap Up. For more information on the Council's news, visit the website. I'm Susan Kennedy.